All right. Hey guys, and welcome back to another Sunday night stream. Running a little late today, had to help the family with some removal of Thanksgiving decorations and the preparation for the new Christmas decorations. Lots of boxes being moved back and forth. So, what are we doing today? Let me get some stuff in order. So today, it's gonna be a really chill stream. I've been trying to calm down lately. I'm just gonna be doing. We're going to be doing some painting. So what the heck is this you're looking at? So as I sniffle. So a while back, some of you might remember some concept drawings I did. Of ghosts and various spirits trapped inside of bottles and jars. I did some inking of these a while back. Now from these drawings, correction, from the demon in a bottle, the sculpture I worked on for a while and is now going to be on sale on Etsy once I update the page. My friend Kratorius Rex, Joseph Tessman, that is. Joe was like, hey, how about this idea? And we bounced this idea back and forth. And said idea basically boils down to, what if you could trap ghosts in cool looking jars and carry them with you, kind of a la Pokemon, a la Ben 10. And yeah, so that was an idea we came up with. And we've been sending concepts back and forth. And I'm actually writing a first draft, a pilot episode, if you would, for a story. A pilot episode about a young boy who, with through the use of various magical techniques, magical, mystical, alchemic, whatever you want to call it, traps ghosts in jars and has turned himself into the local Ghostbuster, if you would call it. Now, with all that preamble out the way, this is gonna be I'm making a kind of presentation piece. I went ahead and took like 3 plastic bottles and a cookie container, and I cut up all the plastic and I made this old-fashioned tonic-looking bottle. I want to make a plastic one that I could just like kind of mess with it. So the idea is, now that I've made this bottle with lots of hot glue and pieces of plastic cut up, I'm going to go ahead and take this face that I have smushed. I have smushed it for a reason, and we are going to paint it, stylize it, and stick it in said bottle. And then we'll add some stuff later on to that regarding some paper and some slime to hide all the little fine details on the side that don't look so good. And we're going to make a ghost trapped in a jar. I even went ahead and we got some I used some cheap styrofoam-esque spheres to give him eyes. So the main thing right now is we're gonna paint him. I'm thinking shades of greens, shades of ecto green, and we're also going to highlight areas like the nose, the cheek, the lip, places that are flat against the glass, or in this case the plastic of the bottle, to really give the idea that he's being pushed up against the glass. So we're basically just going to paint a face and do like certain areas to kind of allude to the idea that he's being pushed against the glass, to then eventually make this into a kind of like statue, like a little statue piece that will be like a presentation piece for this pilot idea. So yeah, we're just painting a ghost, funny colors. So let's do that. Let me see. Heavenly Bodies. We are using emerald green, a cheaper lemon yellow, white, and maybe a little bit of this ecto. I call it ecto, but it's the glow in the dark, which has a yellowish tone to it anyway, which might go great against like the lighter parts. I'm debating if I should use pale green for the spots that are squished against the glass, or if I should use yellow and green. Yellow and green to emphasize like the squishing of the face. I'm not sure yet. We're using acrylic as opposed to my regular airbrush paint. This is brown Crayola clay. It dries pretty well. It's not fully dry. Some spots are still soft, but what you're going to do, I'm impatient. And I just hit it with a spray paint primer. And we're just going to go ahead and paint this guy up. Yeah, so I figure a little bit of water and some acrylic paint. It should take well. Yeah, mixing types of acrylic paint from like freaking Craft Smart, which is a cheaper paint, Essentials, which is another cheaper paint, and then freaking Utrecht, which is a more expensive paint. But I guess using the Utrecht as a nice base green might be the best idea. Like ideally, you know, you want to get an airbrush and do all the nice shading and everything, but you know what? I haven't used acrylic in a while. Figure have some fun with it. So the bottle, from the inside, I'll give it a very, very light. For that, I'll probably use airbrush. I'll give it a very light coat of brown, like watered brown. That way, the bottle looks like an old-timey bottle, but it'll still have that smoothness. If I have to paint the outside of the bottle with some extra brown, I will, that is. But where his face is going to be at the front of it, that's going to remain mostly clear, as if he's kind of like glowing in the inside. So this whole thing's like kind of experimental. I'm just going loose with this. It's not like I made that bottle in like an hour or two, just cutting up this piece of plastic. Wasn't easy, but like it was, you know, it's not a deal breaker if I destroy it. It will suck, but you know, I'm sure I could go to like Michael's or something and find a suitable replacement. This is just me kind of rushing an idea out. I just have an idea. I need to burn it out. That way I could focus on other stuff too. It's a treatment I'm writing. The pilot, if you would, it's going to probably be like maybe 7 pages at max. It's like a really like straightforward, here's the first episode. And I've talked with Katorius Rex and we kind of like, we're kind of agreeing on the idea that it could be like a episodic kind of thing. Like if this was a cartoon, it would be episodic. It wouldn't necessarily be, you know, ongoing, you know, continuous, mysterious, you know, something that Disney would buy. Because Disney loves their episodic stuff. Because that's what their brand is. Their brand is, we want people to jump on and buy it as soon as possible. We don't want ongoing stories. Or at least that's what they claim their brand is. Not to get in trouble with whenever they cancel a certain show. Can you tell I'm a little salty with Disney right now? A little salty with Disney. Okay. It's like Blanca, doesn't it? It looked kind of inappropriate before because it's green clay. I mean, not green clay. Sorry, it's brown clay. So brown clay with a bulbous nose and bulbous lips. Every time I looked at it, I was like, that does not look right. You know, that I need to paint this real quick before someone questions why I'm making questionable caricature faces out of clay. I got the sniffles as always. Okay, let's take a little bit of this. This is a cheaper cadmium red to darken those green areas. Can I zoom in a pinch? Give me a second, guys. There we go. Yeah. I like acrylic. It's not bad at all, of course. Rex and I, Katorius Rex and I were having a conversation about the downside. Oof, the one downside about acrylic is that, you know, if you're not used to using it, it'll dry too quickly, and you don't have time to blend. So you gotta really get it while it's strike while the iron's hot, or in this case, while the paint is still a little wet. Yeah, so since we're not actually gonna be squishing them completely against the glass, I need to use some of these darker shades. I need to actually blend the darker areas in real quick. So yeah, say it with me now. You know, the color wheel, color theory. We are using red, not black, to blend, to darken this green. You know, a little bit of, yeah, a little bit of red instead of black. And it's supposed to, like, you know, visually it does help. It prevents it from becoming flat. You do that instead of instead of black, because black will flatten it, but you add the red and it just, you know, you use the right shade of red with the right shade of green, and you get some nice tones. Like I'm getting some nice tones right here. Now, for the eyes, as I showed, I just stuck some styrofoam, like little styrofoam, little bolitas I got from like Michael's or some cheap art, some like cheap art and supply store, if you would. And I might switch them out for glass. I'm thinking I might, or like, you know, like those like reflective beads, like those glass beads. I might get a few of those and put the eyes in, put that as the eye instead. Maybe I'll, you know, I'm kind of this, I'm just doing this quick and fun. Like, this is a project, I'm like, I just want to get it done, see how it looks. You know, first pass at this concept. Let's see how, you know, let's see how this art project comes out. And then from there, if I want, I could always like redo it. Maybe actually get like a good plastic bottle from Michael. See if they sell like bottles that are plastic in the shape of like tonic bottles, because I know they like those old timey tonic like Victorian era bottles. That's kind of what I'm trying to get. Yeah, I'm just going real quick while it's wet. You know, get that the basic green is the middle point. Then this reddish tinted green is, you know, the darker point. And then we'll go back. And once that all dries up, we'll put probably some. I think I will go with the yellow. I'll go with some yellow green, or a shade of yellow. I have different. This is lime yellow. I have canary yellow. I wonder if canary yellow will work well. Might work well with this type of green. And we'll use that for, like, once again, the pieces that are flattened. Like, you know, which will be the nose right here, part of the lips, part of the chin, cheek, a little bit in the eyebrow. And yes, I did look up reference of like smushed faces against glass. keynote, very important keynote. If you don't have your safe search on, because what grown person uses a safe search. If you don't have it on, do not simply type in person squished against glass, because you get some heavenly orbs pushed against glass. Not exactly what you're looking for, But at least not for art reference. There we go. Okay, let that dry for a minute. Let me see what yellows I have. Oh, fun fact. I probably think I mentioned it. I've mentioned it at least once before. I know I mentioned it last time when I did a completely separate Instagram stream. I was doing some sculpting. A lot of the rags I'm using are recycled rags from my old work shirts from my previous job, which I am so happy I'm no longer working there. That was way too much on that nose. I put a big blotch on that nose. Come here. Yeah, because this is already like a pale color, I can use this on the teeth, which I'm going to be white with this. Then I could put yellow acrylic with this on top, because it's kind of translucent to begin with. And it might even give it a little glow-in-the-dark feel. That will be kind of cool. That's already looking pretty good. In fact, on camera, it looks even darker than it should be, which is fine. Okay, give me a second. I gotta reach over and get a different color. I realize I thought this was oil, but I have titanium white acrylic. So maybe I'll use that rather than this one, because it's a bit of a better brand and it might be a bit thicker, so it might work better. So I have cadmium yellow lemon, cadmium yellow light. I don't know, we'll see which ones. Let's try the lemon. Lemon seems brighter, so let's see how that looks. Oh, if there's anything in here. Might be all powder by now. I need something to clean out this. Here we go. Yeah, I'm sure I can get something out of here, but to be honest, I think it's like... Yeah. It's time to throw that out. You go into the garbage. I keep the lid, because sometimes these lids tend to break. They tend to crack, so I'm keeping that lid. How about... Oh, no. Yeah, this is no good either, is it? Oh, a little bit in there. It's a little bit that's still usable. Let's get that last pinch out and see how that works. Oh, I see people in the chat. Who's here? Who's here? Hey, Joe. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna switch over I'm gonna switch over on my device and see what's going on. You might have to just restart it. No, it seems to be working fine on my end. Yeah, it seems to be working fine, dude. You might have to restart it. Thanks for the heads up, though. Thank you very much. I'm always appreciate someone telling me, hey, something's wrong. Okay, a little bit of green. Yeah, the yellow is a little thick. I might just have to use the cheaper yellow because it's still much more liquidy. So I've been keeping track of my analytics over on Twitch because I've been like doing lots of side streamings, like a day on Tuesday, a little bit of video game on Wednesday. I get the intern in here for Wednesday or whatever, and those little things actually add up in like the numbers you need to become like an affiliate and all that stuff. Okay, it comes down to like how many followers you have and how often do you stream. Where's my stirring stick? Time to get some new ones. Okay, let's see if this yellow and green mix. This yellow might be too thick. As always, I am of course recycling recycling egg cartons. There we go. Yeah, yellow is too thick. It is not blending. Yeah, I'm. So this character is meant to be like a bit of a troublemaker. This face makes him look a bit more evil than troublemaker-ish than like a little imp. But it's there's so many ways you could do a person's face when it's squished against glass to try and really portray a certain character. But once again, this is just a first pass at this character. Okay, let's see what we got here. You know what? I'm thinking, how clear is my stream video? Because I'm zoomed in on him, and because of that, he might be a little fuzzy. Maybe I zoom back out. Okay, so for this, now we're going to have to do a few coats of this because it's still a little wet, and this is a lighter color. The yellow definitely like, the green is keeping it thick, but the yellow, I don't know, it gives it a translucent. So we're just putting like these shaded spots to give him a squished appearance, which I think it looks like it's working so far. I like it. Oh yeah. Just gonna make sure it's like as smooth as possible. Acrylic can give it a bit of a texture. I like this, but it's definitely going to need a few more passes. Okay, I need a fine brush. That should be fine enough as long as I wet it. I'm gonna see if I get a little bit of white on that teeth, on those teeth. Oh, come on. Freaking titanium stuck. When in doubt, needle nose pliers. By the way, the audio is probably a little bit better than usual, if you guys might notice. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have like 4 6-foot long USB extenders. There's a USB cord with a male and female end, so they plug into each other. They're both 6 feet long, give or take, because I can never find one that's a good like 10 feet long. That's not overly expensive. And I've been buying those slowly as I've been streaming. Because the mic picks up very well, but get it closer and closer to me when I'm away from the computer, which I'm doing right now. And as of last week, I bought like the last one I need. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, only 4 actually. It's only 4. I had 3 originally. So I bought the last one, which means my microphone is actually right next to me. Okay. I'm gonna take this guy, the precious cap, and toss him into my bin of paint. That way, next time one of these caps breaks, because they will break. You know what I need to do? I need to change the water. Lots of green in this water, and I don't want to clean the brush in there and get green on the white. So I'm going to let this dry, do some white. Maybe I'll just coat these in white while I'm here anyway. You know what? Like I said, part of me was thinking of giving him glass eyes and putting a light behind it. But maybe I'll paint the eyes white and then give him a coat of this. That way the eyes also just glow in the dark. Okay, let me double check that. Let me double check the YouTube again. Let's see. Refresh that. No? I don't know. On my tablet, I'm switching between Twitch and YouTube. And and that I should also open up a tab for Picardo, since I don't see the chat for Picardo. But yeah, YouTube on my end looks okay. Pick auto. Go. Go! Let me see, pick auto. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not logged in, so I'll just search for myself in the meantime. There I am. Fun fact. So on all social medias that I use, I am the Burgos Art, and I realize on Twitter there are a lot of the Burgoses. There's the Burgos D, the Burgos whatever. There's a lot of people with DA Burgos, and I'm just like, why is that the case? What is going on? Let me see. Is it showing the stream? It is showing the stream. Okay, good. It's showing the stream. It's not showing anyone in the chat at the moment. Okay, switching back over to everything else. Double checking, double checking. One, two. YouTube, you are still reading me apparently. Yep. YouTube is yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. On my end, YouTube looks like it's running just fine. And this is on a secondary device. I'm not on the laptop where everything is running off of it. I'm on a secondary device. But yeah, I'll just keep double checking it because you're giving me the heads up on it, and I want to make sure that's running just okay. Meantime, I'm gonna go change this water real quick. Make sure everything's copacetic. That's a word. That's a word I learned to use from watching Tangled. It was on TV earlier today. The term is like me, and he says me and the kingdom aren't necessarily compact. He says compatico or copacetic. He says it oddly. Shoot. 1 second, guys. Ooh, I just stabbed myself under the nail with something. Not a horrible stab, but man, that still freaking hurts. Alright, let me go wash my hands and change the water. Stand by. Just to triple check, I'm going to go to my desktop and check YouTube right there as well. There has got to be a way. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a device out there for it, and I'm sure 100 companies are going to claim they're the better device. That's what happens. You look for one device, and everyone claims, no, ours is the one that does it. But there has to be a device that I could basically plug into the USB area of this mic, and then plug the other one directly into the computer and make it a wireless. I'm sure there is. I was looking for how to turn devices that are USB into wireless. And a lot of them are like, oh, you gotta plug it into the machine, then plug into the modem. I'm like, no, there has to be one that goes, just plug into the machine that you're using, and then plug it into the USB port on a computer. And you know, there has to be a machine, a device that does that. Anyway, with that ramble, with that slight ramble, I'm gonna go ahead and paint these eyes real quick, and then, cause I still don't know if I'm gonna keep these eyes or not, but I figured might as well have a nice smooth eye. Now, mind you, this is the titanium white, and it, you know, it's still not like. I should have spray painted the foam. Oh, this is foam. I should have spray painted the foam. I should. I mean, the foam is smooth in itself, but I feel like I should have primed. I should just primed to spray paint these, because even though I'm painting them, you know, I have to do a few layers to really make it white. Especially because there's ink on it, and you see the ink's already kind of, freaking peanut butter side down. Even though even though I'm painting them with like this heavy titanium white, the ink is kind of spreading on that. It's all about doing coats. Alright, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna get really into this. You might even see my head in the shot. Okay, I'll take him away from the camera for a minute, guys, because I need to really like pick him up for a minute. There we go. So the teeth are dried bits of white Crayola foam, like super dry, like they've been around for like over a year, so they become like rock hard. I just sliced up into random shapes and then glued into the mouth. Now, good news is I can always just paint over the white with more of the darkened green. I just want to get the teeth at least covered. And once again, acrylic dries quick, so I could just do a few more coats on these eyes. And who knows? Maybe I will decide. Oh, maybe you know what I could do, if I could find some nice rounded or like the semi, you know, these half circles, a half balls, that these half spheres, that are clear, and then paint the back of those with the glow in the dark, so it gives them a real glass eye with the glow in the dark eye. I am liking how this is coming out. I am liking it. A little bit more of our base green to help with the contrast between that and the darker shades we put on. Liking it so far, guys. A little bit more white. You know you're doing it right when your hands are getting dirty. You know, since I'm broadcasting on numerous spots right now, I figure I'd bring this up. Saberspark just did a video regarding VTubers, primarily like the rise of VTubers and like the professional VTubers. You know, people who are hired by companies to be characters, not just people who are doing it on their own. But the main difference between like VTubers in America versus VTubers in like Japan, where the VTubers in Japan still have that idol, you know, Japanese idol feel to them, where like they have to be pure, they have to be innocent, and etc. etc. You know, that kind of creepiness, even though they're extremely fictional characters. Versus like American VTubers like Gora Gora, who can like, to a certain extent, make like dirty jokes and stuff, but she still has a manager who tells her what to do. And then so the video is mainly about that, like that genre of like the professional VTuber, you know, basically VTubers who are working for a company, and how like now that the technology is out there, anyone could be a VTuber. Like they don't have to freaking like bend to the will of management, and like, you know, they could just be a character or themselves, or they could be themselves, a character, or a caricature of themselves, and just do whatever they want. It was like a nice little video. It was like a really informative video for like people who have no idea what the heck like VTubers are. Okay. Shaky. So this is a Handy Art glow in the dark acrylic paint, and it's good, but it needs lots and lots of layers. Like and it's also not like smooth. It's like a kind of a uneven acrylic. Like when you have to do lots of layers, it comes out a little blotchy. I'm thinking, like I said, I want to put a few spots in the spots that are smushed, but I figure I have to like make sure I already have them at the color level I want. Maybe add a little bit of yellow. A little bit more yellow. That way it could be like a really light color. Really light green. This might work. Let's see. Don't know if that even comes off on camera. Yeah, it does. Okay, nice. That's a good yellow. Okay. Sorry for that beeping you guys are hearing. That's this game, you know, tons of like Google News alert. Like as soon as you click one article in Google News, your phone is like, here's an article about like dogs that can't look up or something stupid like that. Doing like a green and yellow face using red, of course, for the shading. Makes me think of those weird old like riddles. What's green and red and moves at 50 miles an hour? Kermit the Frog in a blender. And you can see, with the more yellow, the more like, you know, yeah, let's admit it, cheaper yellow paint I'm putting into this. You know, it's a bit sloshy. Kind of hard to get like that really clean edge. You know, when you push something against glass, it's usually like an even spread. Like imagine your fingers against glass. You could see on the opposite side, like a real clean edge of like where the skin is being compressed. Alright. Let's start the tedious process of putting some glow-in-the-dark paint on the teeth. And once again, I can always go back in there with the darker green and I clean the edges in case any spills over. Yeah, so this glow-in-the-dark paint it looks like and it flows like Elmer's glue, which is not a good thing when you're trying to paint. So I'm just, because it's like also semi-translucent, it's kind of hard to see how much coverage I'm getting. So it's really just a matter of me just kind of going wild over the teeth. Whatever catches, catches. guess same thing for the eyes. Just yeah, this glow in the dark paint is gonna just mix with the white. That's really what's happening with the eyes, which is fine. It gives it like a base coat, then just add more to it. Just organizing my brushes, cleaning them that way I don't accidentally mix. The worst thing is when you grab a brush and you think it's clean, and as soon as you dip it into your paint, it just ruins it. Like, no! I got brown inside my yellow. I got peanut butter inside my chocolate. The funny thing is, if it does bleed a little over from the teeth onto the edge of the lips are so dark. No, and once again, I'll go in there and clean it up as well. But I guess it might give it like an ambient glow around the teeth and lips. Okay, should I? You know what? Come on. Come on. Let's put a little bit of this on those light spots. Once again, if they end up blending into the yellowish green, we could consider that like a base coat. And then, we'll work, we'll do the fine details after that. By adding layers upon layers. So this is the same paint I used when I did my Slimer painting a while. Was it was like 3 years ago? Yeah, before COVID hit, 3 years ago. And I basically mixed the glow paint with a slimy yellowish greenish paint. So it wasn't like a perfect glowing effect. It was more like a blotchy effect. But it looked good though. It still looked good. And truth is, I'm not sure what color. Like, if I was just to do a heavy, heavy, thick layer of this stuff, I'm not sure what color it actually, like, solidifies as. I'm not sure if it'll be, like, translucent or if it'll keep this kind of milky color. Hey, speaking of milky color liquids, did anyone? I hope some people were watching. Well, it wasn't last week, because last week I missed, and it's gonna probably premiere tomorrow. But the week before last, in Critical Role, anyone who has not been keeping up with the new season, they stumbled into a really nasty, like mucus covered location, but it's one of those things where as Matt Mercer's describing it, you can tell he realizes all crap. Like he realizes he said it. He couldn't stop himself from describing this milky, semi-translucent goop that covers an entire bedroom, and everyone just starts laughing. He's like, "Damn it!" Like he realizes it way too late. I guess I didn't get a chance. That was when they fought a guy named Dudda, which in itself was like a horror show where he describes it to them. It's like, oh, really terrifying stuff. They fight this guy named Dudda. Duggar or Dudda. Everyone kept saying his name incorrectly. Dig Dug, whatever. And that was a funny, like, encounter they had. I mean, it was a terrifying encounter for them to actually beat the guy, but like describing the location was funny. Now the bad thing is, I noticed unlike some acrylic, this stuff does not dry quick. Like you need this to dry quick to do like layers upon layers of the glowing eyes. Any kind of glowing feature. You need to really layer this stuff on, but it just doesn't want to. But I've learned things like this glow in the dark paint and like acrylic silver, which is just not what it promises to be. Even Utrecht, like I bought Utrecht like metallic silver, and it is not what you want it to be. It isn't smooth, and it's acrylic. It's kind of like toothpaste. Not even toothpaste. Toothpaste blends better, but like you have to put a layer of something light beneath it. Like whenever I'm painting with the silver acrylic paint, especially even from Utrecht, I have to like do a layer of white, and then start building up that layer of silver and build and build and build, and it's still just by the time you build it so much, it's it has like a texture that just it no longer looks like silver armor, or at least that I'm just not good enough at it. The face is looking good though. It is looking good. I'm so tempted to take out a heat gun and just gently hit this with a heat gun, but I know that'll probably cause it to bubble or something. Just checking my secondary device. Why the heck do I have so many messages on Twitch? I check my Twitch like every so often just to like clear off, updates and messages. Then again, it is the season where they're gonna bombard you with like 50% off, 30% off. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? So yeah, I'm just getting bombarded with that stuff right now. Yeah, the Fall Guys gift bundle. You know what? Maybe I'll treat the intern. Maybe I'll buy him Fall Guys and see how he does in that. Any excuse to any excuse to stress him out, I'll take. He's been slacking. Now, this does fit in here. The base is hollow. The base of this is hollow. It is gonna be a little tricky, but I'm pretty sure I could get him in there without scraping off the paint too much. Especially if you let this, like, let it dry. Really let it dry. And, I guess the idea is I'll put some, I'm gonna put some, like, painter's tape on this flat surface, but on the inside. Just, like, in this square, painter's tape. Take the airbrush, hit the whole inside of it, with some like brownish yellow paint. A little watered down to keep that translucent nature of it, to make it look like it's a brown bottle, even though the outside is obviously clear. And once again, this is made out of like one wall here, one wall here, one wall, a wall with a flat window, because originally the back was this, with like this kind of ribbon material. Did a tube, did another tube, glued it on, did a hole. The hole actually stops right here. Then hot glued it. So yeah, it's not clean, but it is the shape. So he's gonna go in there. Then I'm gonna make some fake, what's it called? Fake labeling to hide the seams. Then I'm gonna add some like textured, gooey, like almost the way like copper builds up rust or something, and just have that kind of spill over, and then I'll do a label with a rip in the front where you see his face. Most Victorian bottles, the labels were either just a flat label here or a wraparound. So I could do a full wraparound and then like have tears in it. And then he's also gonna have he's kind of pouring out of it. So his face is here, but he's gonna have this is not the final product, but he's gonna have translucent arms and legs, as if he's trying to escape the bottle. So his legs and his arms are sticking out the bottle, but his head, his torso is still inside of it. He can't quite escape his glass prison. Let me add some crazy glue to this. Might as well clean the edges while I'm here. Whew. That's sorry, not crazy glue. Gorilla super glue. Has a smell to it. There we go. Yeah, it's I'm approaching this as it's not gonna be super clean, but I still want like the face to look nice. Like the face in the bottle will be the easiest parts. It's the limbs. I could sculpt the limbs all I want, and I could cast them in like white plastic, but I want them to be translucent. I want the arms and legs to be translucent, as if, you know, he's like a specter squeezing out of this his containment. I'm thinking the best way to approach that. Like that's gonna be tricky. Yeah, that's a future part. Right now, focus on what's here. Okay, let's see if we get a few more layers on this. I'm trying not to like brush off the paint that's here, which is kind of what's happening. So I'm just kind of doing little circles. Yep, see that? Paint's coming off. You have to let it dry. You have to let it dry. What I can do is still add a few more layers on top of the teeth, because the teeth are just white. I put too much red. Look at that red. That's way too much red in there. But good thing about acrylic, you get to spray it, seal it, and if you spray acrylic with some water and like wrap it up in plastic, it'll survive the next. It'll survive for a little bit. Oil survives like longer than anything else, which is great about it. 9:15. Granted, we started like 10 minutes late. 9:15, and I think we're at a bit of an impasse because I can't do much until this like really dries up a bit more. The green took well. The green, like the basic green, the darker greens, like that dried up well. In fact, because they dried so well, I could work on some cleaning edges. Like I want to work on right here. His eye ridge. Eye ridge? I don't know what you call that exactly, but just the bag of his eye. Then once again, we can always mix a little red in there. Get some more darkness. That's too much darkness. I could correct that later. Mixing more of that yellowish green into the glow in the dark paint. Because if you mix it with a good ratio, you still keep the glowing effect. You won't lose it if you add a little color to it. Whether or not it will glow in that color, I don't think so. That was weird. I just opened up my Picarto again, and like it wasn't on the stream page. You know what? Let me log in, because someone is leaving comments on Picarto. Sometimes you won't see it. Like any chat. If you join the chat later, you won't see it. Stay logged in. Yes, remember me. Remember me. I forget the rest of the words. No, just sorry. There we go. This way I could see. I'll switch back and forth, make sure chat's still up and running. They've got to fix that. Picarto is like climbing up to be one of the main art websites right now where you can live stream. Especially because people can live stream adult artwork, painting, and drawings, not videos. But because of that, a lot of artists are using Picarto, perhaps more than what Twitch is right now. Because of course on Twitch there's a limit as to what you can draw, explicit stuff especially. So they gotta figure out how to get Picarto's chat into Restream. I'm talking about, when I say day, I'm talking Restream. And I'm still waiting for a few more updates in Instagram. Because I can't have like 5 devices open. Phone recording, tablet recording just to get it on Instagram at the same time. And like a laptop so I can see what's going on. Especially when I'm at my table. My art table on the computer is different. It's on the computer. It's a lot easier, but still. It does look good though. I'm genuinely happy with that. Put like a white behind it so you can see the eyes a bit more, even though they're in shadow. Okay, so we've done a good number of passes. Sorry, I took off the camera for a minute. I'm just trying to get in between the teeth. Okay, so we've done a good number of passes on the teeth. Because it's white, they should work well with the glow in the dark paint. I'm gonna just mix a little bit more of this darker green, and we are going to very carefully fill in the gaps around the lips and everything. A little bit more on the red side, a little bit more reddish. Let me get close to my face. Sorry, guys. Try and get it on camera. Oh, as I bump the camera. You know, if this was like the airbrush paint or whatever, yeah, I would just go in there with a wash and everything to really get in between those teeth, but I don't want to lose the teeth detail. Like, I'm not doing the washes here. I am painting in the shades. I don't want to do the washes and like, I don't know, I'm just not doing, it's washes with acrylic. If it's not a type of acrylic that's good for that, it does come out a little weird. So I'm just going back in once again for another layer of, I guess you call it a wash because I'm watering it down so much. Let's darken the inside of this eye here. It's very in shadow, like the eye hole. Eye hole. Eye hole. See? Look at that. Broke right off. That's why you hold on to these freaking caps, people. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about the Utrecht. Like, they're freaking lids. They just Utrecht or Blick, Blick-Trek, whatever the hell they go by. Like they're freaking like caps just snap right off. Okay. I'm happy with that. It's a matter of just adding, of course, the white of the eye. Yeah, this white paint does not want to dry. Or maybe, I don't know if it's the white paint or if it's the glow paint that's being so goopy. Okay, give me a second. First things first, I need to get the cap for this. While going through that to my painting bin, I have a shade of red, a nice deep red, not like this one, like a deep red, and that has a cap that was like hot glued back on real quick. I'm gonna probably like use some epoxy like resin to really fix that one. So once again, these freaking glow paint be damned, but these pieces of like smushed skin need to have like really smooth edges. You know, if I could get this yellow, like I said, this yellowy green to be super smooth on the edges, and then just do like a little bit of a blotchy glow paint on top, that'd be fine. It is more fun for me. Like the glow paint, like no one's gonna really see that middle of the damn day looking at this sculpture. But I wanna know. Hey, look, it glows in the dark. Yes, yes. And who knows? Maybe I will. Go with the glass eyes. Maybe I'll add a little LED light on the back of him inside the jar. I have a whole bunch of like little LED lights from like Broken Toys and stuff. I think I have like it's you ever seen those LED lights where it's like it goes in your finger. It's like a little flashlight. So that little piece of cheap plastic is perfect for like putting light bulbs in it. Not just light bulbs. I mean, it's a it's a little self-contained battery case. It's either that or buy those little fake light up candles, but they're never really that bright. They're LED lights, but they're never really that bright. Put another layer of white paint on this if it takes. There we go. There we go. Just like wet, nice wet titanium white. Just Yeah, it is doing something. Yeah, so whenever I leave the tab in which I have Picardo open, it leaves the stream, which means if anyone is putting anything in chat, when I get to it, it's probably restarting the chat, and I don't see it. I don't know why it's doing that though. It's never done that before. I've been able to leave in and out of that tab without it like leaving the stream. Who knows? Life is weird. All right. You know what? Let's cut it short for today. Because right now I'm just spinning my wheels. Base colors are all done. Base colors are all done. I can always add more light layers of the suspicious colored glow in the dark paint later on once this yellow dries. But the main thing is, like, this is what I was aiming for. There's kind of like certain spots are colored in a way where you think he's pushed against the glass. And yeah, I'm happy with this. The eyes, we'll figure out. There is a art store near me. It's more of a it's a fabric and art and craft store. Named Savothon. Not sure if it's a branch or just that one store. But Savothon, and they have like a few arts and crafts stuff. So they might have like glass beads like this. But I need glass beads of this size. I figured they would be clear on the back end. I'll put something in there. Because the trick is like you take a glass eye and you put like half circle like these guys, a half ball, and you just print out. You could print out like an eye, and then put in the back, and it curves that image beautifully. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know yet. I really don't know yet. But the face is done. Face is done. Bottle is pretty much, good to go. And I'm just waiting for that crazy glue to adhere. So if anything, even if I don't get the arms and legs done the way I want them to, I'll have him and his face in that bottle. But I really do want to get the arms and legs. But that's a whole other project in itself. With that being said, as I shake the camera again, sorry. As always, J Marvel Man over on YouTube. Thank you for popping in. Thank you to anyone who will watch this later on. All of my videos get archived on YouTube. I stream every Sunday night, usually starting at 8 o'clock. That is the art stream. And when I pressure him enough, the intern will pop up here and there to do video game streams. He is right now working on Forgotten Anne, and I definitely want to see how he finishes that game. That's gonna be fun. So once again, guys, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.